Hello, staff. This is your Flip faculty meeting for Thursday. I wanted to get this out to you so that you can enjoy your Thursday and do what you need to do after school and just watch this when you can during your free time. Put your feet up and enjoy. So the first thing I want to talk about is conferences. I really appreciate everyone's effectiveness in meeting with parents on Thursday. I think we had a great time with conferences. I've heard nothing but great feedback from the parents, and so I really appreciate that. Also, at the same time, we had the snowball with 460 students, and I could not have gotten all of those students home without an awful lot of help from a lot of staff that evening. I know it took us right at an hour to get those students out the door and safely into their cars, but I really appreciate everyone's help in getting that done. Our staff always seems to step up and help each other, and I really, really appreciated that night. And I know that you all enjoyed seeing the kids dressed up. It was a great night with the conferences and with the snowball. Just make sure now that the conferences are over that you keep in touch with parents, keep those lines of communication open, keep posting your grades so that they know how students are progressing, and keep that communication going. I really do appreciate everyone. And talking about that, I want to say a shout out to our counselor's office. I don't know if you know, and this is my forum to make sure you do know that we all know what's going on in our school, that our counselors took the time and effort to get a special student's hair cut, get her eyebrows waxed, which may have been a little painful, but she thought it was kind of funny too, and get her a dress and shoes and tights and a shrug, and get her all dressed up for the dance and make her feel very, very special. So I want to share a picture with you of Miss Anthony getting her ready. Thank you, Miss Anthony, and the counseling office for all you did to help make this girl feel very, very special. I wanted to let you know a couple of things coming up this week. First, on Tuesday, we have content team visits. We'll be walking around and going to your content team meetings, so make sure that you're prepared for that at the beginning of your planning time. And we'll come in if you have anything you want to share with us, or you're just going to share with your content team. We'll listen and give feedback as you need us to, or offer suggestions, or if you need resources, anything you need, that's a good time for you and your content teams to share it with us. So that's Tuesday. Also on Tuesday, you're going to see administrators from other middle schools here on our campus. One of the things that they've asked us to do is called inter-rater reliability. In order for us to be effective when it comes to TEKS, they've asked us to go from school to school and complete walkthroughs on various teachers. And then after we complete those walkthroughs, we get together in a room and we talk about how we rated them so that we can see if we're all rating people the same way. And so we're trying to do this once a year as the middle schools, and so there'll be other middle school administrators on our campus. They're going specifically, thank you, to Kirkland, Barnes, and Elkins, and they'll be in their classrooms for a walkthrough amount of time. So don't feel threatened that they're coming in your room, but just know that that's why they're on our campus and that we are working hard to make sure that we're reliable when we do our TEKS evaluations on you. And thank you again to Barnes, Kirkland, and Elkins for opening your classrooms to us. On Wednesday, this is something new that I've started. One of the goals, and I think some of you have heard me talk about this, but one of the things that I want to do as principal is to work on the transition from 5th to 6th grade. I know that you all are aware that students struggle with that transition, and I want to see what we can do to help with that. So I have asked a group of parents, 6th grade parents, to come in and meet with me on Wednesday at 3 o'clock as a focus group so that they can share some ideas with me of things that we could do as a school to help with that transition. Maybe they're going to share with me some concerns that they saw with their specific student, or just praises about things that worked with their student. And so we'll come up with some ideas, and then I'll come up with a committee of 6th grade teachers so that I can share those, and we can come up with ideas of things we can do to help with that transition. So I'm going to start meeting this Wednesday with those focus group of parents for the 6th graders. We're working on our formatives at this point. We're working on formative 2. We're going to be out and about, and we've asked you to let us know if there's a specific time you want us to come into your classroom. Because remember, at this point, we have to mark all 10 standards. We're going to mark that for your formative, and then we have to do your summative evaluation as well. So we're going to be working on those. And so I have a video that I want to show you, and it's actually of Miss Grassie. I had done, and I don't remember if it was a walkthrough or formative that I did on Miss Grassy, but she was doing a very quick lesson, didn't take any time at all, but shows you how I could have evaluated her very easily on all 8 standards when I got in there and saw this very small snippet of her classroom time. So I want you to see what she's doing. I want you to see what I saw and see how you could very easily include this in your classroom so that we can evaluate you on all 8 areas. But you can also get very easily, you'll hear things, and I'm going to have you fill that out on the form, but you'll see things like her assessment uses. You'll see her differentiation, the things that we're kind of lacking and missing a lot of times seeing in classrooms, and it's very quick and easy. So I want you to watch this video and see how Miss Grassy does it, and see and think about what you can do to apply this in your classroom.
While you're working on your study guide, I'm going to call you over one group at a time based off of your quiz results from Friday. I've got the quizzes graded and put into groups. I'm going to bring you over according to how well or how not so well you did. If you did really well, then we're going to look at some problems that are a little bit more difficult to try to challenge you. If you were struggling on the quiz, then we're going to go through and do some problems to help review and make sure you really understand the concepts. That way you can do your best on your test on Wednesday. Okay? Everybody understand? Yes. Okay. Katie, Leela, Colby, and Jack. You can just bring your calculator, that's all you need. Everybody else keep working on your study guide. While you're working on your study guide, if you need help, raise your hand, and while they're working, I can come to you and help you as well, okay? So don't think you can't still ask for help, even though I'm over here with them, okay? I can do both. Okay, so y'all did really, really well. Y'all made 100 on your quiz. It's good, y'all. So, that means y'all really understand it, so that's awesome. So I'm going to give y'all some that are a little bit more difficult to make sure y'all are getting challenged and y'all can go a little bit further. So everybody needs a dry erase board and a marker. Got one right here. Y'all pass it. And take a tissue if you don't have one on your desk. Alright. First of all, let's start like this. I'm going to write it on here, and y'all can copy it. 2x plus 3y equals 27. And x plus 2y equals 7. Then 3x plus 5y divided by 2 equals question mark. Okay, so let's look at it real quick. Yes, you can write down. So what this is taking what we've already done and it's taking it a step further. So when you get a copy, don't start yet because I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So what does it look like I need to do? The idea is, maybe look at it one part at a time. What would you think you would start with? Okay, well let's look right here. What's that? Okay, so it's a system that's set up for elimination. Good. So that would be the first thing that we do. So once you work that out, just like you've been doing every day, what do you think you would have to do here once you get this answer? How could we figure out what this equals? What are you going to figure out when you do this right here? You're going to figure out the x and the y. So when you have this part, how do you figure out the answer? Well, you did. Good job. Okay, so it's not that bad. You just take this and you're going to take it a step further. So start with that. Okay? That's your work work that we've been doing, okay? So y'all start, and we'll come back, and I'll help you, okay? Just put it right there. Yeah, so start, do that just like you've been doing with elimination. You wanna get your variables, figure out what they equal, and then you're gonna go to the next step. So I'll be right back. If they don't intersect, what is that? What type of lines are they? So in this equation, what is the state? Y equals mx plus b. Right, so in order to make an equation that it's gonna do well, it doesn't have to be the same stuff. You just make an equation that has the same stuff, right? Nothing else? So the solution, you want a system, where's the solution at? You've got your two lines, where, how do you know this is the solution? What do they cost? Okay, so that's what you just told me that was cost. Okay. How we doing? I need help? Good, good. Good call. You're good. Make sure you got it right. So you did it right, you just didn't copy it right. Any kind of- What do you think we should multiply this by to get one of your variables to constant? Two. Two. Now what variable would these be? I'll find out. Yes, good, 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 good. Can it be the same? Why not? Good, good job. Okay, so y'all got that part. Now what should you do? The next part, so you know what x and y are. What could you do to figure out what that equals right there? Good job. Keep going, almost done. Okay. Love it. Very good. Hey, that feels super fun. That was hard, I know. That was really hard. Good job. Okay, y'all can erase your boards. Y'all can go back to your desk. Very, very good. Okay, next group I want to see. Drew, Caroline, Chloe, Dylan, and Connor. Okay, you can keep your quiz. Music is study on. Yeah, you need your calculator and nothing else. I have everything else. Okay. So make sure you have a dry erase board, a marker, and a tissue as your eraser. I'm going to pass back your quiz from Friday. So you guys, y'all did pretty well, but maybe not quite as well as you usually do. So I want to make sure that we understand everything, see what we're confused about. That way we don't make those same mistakes on Wednesday. Okay? So let's look at them. Numbers 1 through 5 were really best set up for the substitution method. 6 through 10 were best set up for elimination, and then 11 and 12. Remember, we're trying to get them in slope intercept form. Okay, so let's look at them. So, first of all, who thinks we're struggling with substitution, the top part? Okay with that? Okay, what about elimination? Okay with that? Let's try an elimination, okay? Okay, sometimes we mess up with those. So let's see. I'm gonna copy it on that board and you can copy it on your board. Okay. Alright. So let's try 3x plus 6y equals -6. 5x minus 2y equals 14. Well, listen guys, does it look like that's what you should do? Okay, does it look like if you add them together right now, one of your variables would cancel out? So Drew has a suggestion. What do you think? Good job. So Drew says if you multiply that bottom equation times 3, that'll get one of your variables to cancel out. So everybody try that as your first step. See if you can take it from there. Same with this one. Where's the answer? Why? Because it would only be like that, like one not subtracting. It's addition, so you can technically distribute a positive number. You can do that, what you're doing here. So just leave it like that. 2x plus -6 equals 14. Good job. Right. Well, I mean, technically there is a 1 there, but if you distribute a positive 1, it's not going to do anything. So you don't have to do that stuff. Like, I don't know.
trying to get those y's to cancel. So that's step 3. And then you're gonna put the whole equation in parentheses, so you know to multiply, no, the whole equation all the way to the end. So that way you know to multiply everything times that 3. So let's do that so I can distribute it in the entire equation. Good. Very good. So now we use that one, so I would kind of draw lines out, that way we don't get confused. Now you're gonna add the top one, and then just nibbling down your bottom. Okay, now when you know the x, how do you find the y? Good job. So take whichever equation you want. Bring it back to the good. Good job. Alright. Connor, you finish that out. And it looked like several of you messed up on those bottom ones where you had to change it just like our subform.
Oh, yeah.
So let's try one more like that. So if we have ax minus 4y equals 12. Ax minus 4y equals 12. We want to get it.
Gotta get it in slope intercept.
Good. We want to get it in slope intercept form. So we want to get y what? Boom. Okay. Now who can tell me what slope intercept form looks like? Everyone?
Y equals mx plus b.
Good job. So that's what you want it to look like. You got to get that y alone. Okay. I'll try it with me help on it. I'm gonna get y by itself. You got to move everything away from the y to the other side. That's right. Like what are you gonna do? That's right. Go to the first instant. Yes. Very good.
Okay, done.
Got it. That's right. Good. Okay, make sure. Yep. Good. Good. Now is y by itself yet?
No.
We still got one more step. That's the thing. A lot of people on the quiz, they left it like that. But y is not alone. You gotta go one more step. Okay, so from that step, looks like everybody did the first part, right? You subtracted ax, here, I'll do it right now. Here, y'all pay attention. You subtract 8x on both sides. Y'all all did that. That was good. We have negative 4y equals negative 8x plus 12. Okay, we have to get y alone. What's still with the y?
The 4,
The negative 4. So you gotta think, what are they doing with the negative 4 and the y right there?
the multiplying.
They're multiplying. Good job. So you have to undo that. You have to do the opposite. So you have to divide by negative 4. What are we dividing by negative 4?
Everything.
Everything. So every term is divided by negative 4. Okay, so that would be your last step. So y'all finish it out and see what you get. Good job. We're dividing by negative 4. Now there's a negative with it. Good. And then what should still be with that too? Good. Can't leave out the x or it doesn't make it a linear equation. Makes it a totally different. Alright, good. Does that make sense now? Okay, you gotta get that y alone. That's what you need to be thinking about. Alright, good job, y'all. Y'all can get back to your desk. You can see your quiz with you. Okay, the last few
groups that we didn't get to today. We're going to do this tomorrow at the beginning of class. We're going to finish this up. And then we're going to go through our study guide problem by problem. Okay? So, raise your hand if you can kind of summarize how you get an equation in slope intercept form. Raise your hand. Caroline?
So when you have a equation that's in slope intercept form, you need to subtract whatever's next to y to get it on that side. So once you do that, y is still be the number, so you have to like divide that number. Subtract of everything so you can get y alone.
Good job. Okay, so she's telling us, y'all stop moving, stop backing up, it's not quite time. She's telling us that we need to get y alone. She said there's typically 2 steps for that. You have to subtract the x term to the other side, or add, depending on if it's positive or negative. And then whatever coefficient is with the y, you're going to have to divide everything by that number. Okay, so don't forget, you're trying to get y alone. Okay, so don't forget that. Who can tell me, when you have a word problem, like we did earlier, what was the very first step that we did before we started solving? What did we do? Make your equations. Okay, so it's very important you go through and you read your problems, read the situations, and make your equations. Who can tell me how you can check to see if your solution is correct? Raise your hand. Leland. Plug it in for x and y. Okay? Y'all always do that. That way you can make sure you get it correct. Okay? Alright, what we need to do. So we're going to finish this tomorrow. I want you to complete your study guide for homework. I need glue sticks put up. I need calculators put up. So let's clean up before we get started.
Thank you, Miss Grassie, for letting me come in and videotape you and your students. I really appreciate it. And I hope you all could see what I was talking about with the 8 standards and how easy it was to see them in effect in her classroom. Talking about the formatives as well, when we get to the summative evaluation, we fill out your summatives, we have to refer to your student surveys. That's part of the expectation of TEKS. And so I'm hoping that when your student surveys are finished, you're reflecting on those, you're thinking about what the students are saying about you. And we'll talk to you about those at the end of the year. Along the same lines, I want you to know that this week a lot of you completed your evaluations on us as administrators, and we're taking time to be reflective about your evaluations of us as well. I think all 4 of us would agree that our goal, just as your goal would be as an educator, is to improve. There's nothing that I want to do to stay stagnant. I want to get better every day, and this is new to me, as you're quite aware, and I want to get better. So I'm going to take the evaluations that you gave me, and I think the other ladies are going to do the same. Take them and reflect on them and think of things that we can do to make it better. Some of the areas we may be asking you for feedback or input and asking us, and we would ask you what we could do to improve those areas. We want to assure you that we're going to make every effort to improve. That's our goal, and that's our goal for you as well. And that's why we do the TEKS feedback with you, whether it's the walkthrough or the formatives, so that you can grow as a teacher. And so I want to grow as a principal, and I know the other girls want to grow as assistant principals as well. So we're going to really reflect on those and ask you for some feedback so we can improve. So I just wanted to let you know about that. I have a second video that I want to share with you, and that actually has to do with Miss Du Bois. Miss Du Bois has started an initiative in her classroom with QR codes. She has students use the QR code, and they use a QR reader on their phones, or she has a tablet that they can use it on as well, and they sign out and sign in so that she can keep a log of who's going out, how long they're out, when they're coming back in. From what my understanding is, the special ed teachers are thinking about doing this as a team so that they can understand how often students on all 4 classes content areas are going out to the restroom or to the nurse, so that they can see patterns, so that they can use that as evidence too and documentation when it comes to IEPs. So I thought this might be something that we could look into either as a school, maybe teams want to start something like this, so that you can have a log, an understanding of how often students are leaving your classroom, when they're out and when they're coming back in. It timestamps it so that you can have an idea of where students are at all times. So I want you to watch this video. Godomsky is showing me and you how Miss Du Bois is using this in her classroom. She also has it for her reading log, so you'll see that as well. So enjoy. Okay, so today I have Coach G with me, and he is going to show us Miss Du Bois uses hall passes for leaving the classroom and entering back in the classroom, and so he's going to show us how that works.
So the kids have a QR code reader on their phone, and Ms. Du Bois, I believe, also has a tablet for the kids that don't have one, so they can use it. And basically what they do, she has 2 hall passes here, one for when they leave and one for when they return. The purpose of having 2 of these QR codes here is so that it timestamps when the kid leaves and that it timestamps when they return. And the kids pretty much do all of this themselves. Basically, they have to sign into their Google account that all the students have. They take their QR code reader, and when they're leaving, they use this code, the one that says leaving, and this is what they get. It's a little hall pass thing, and it tells who they are because they've signed in, and they'll type their name in, the classroom number that they're leaving, and then she has a list of options of where they're going to the nurse, and etc. There's even an other in case it's something unusual. So they fill this out, and they hit submit, and then they go use the restroom or whatever they have to do. When they return, they'll do the same thing with the returning hall pass, so that they're time stamped when they're returned. And this hall pass looks similar, but on this, all they have to do is type their name, and it just gives a record of when they returned. All this ends up showing up on a log that's in a Google form, a Google spreadsheet, in Google Classroom. Ms. Du Bois also has reading logs, and you can see she has one for each day of the week. Again, the kids use the QR code reader. They just get the QR, capture it like that, and her reading log comes up. They type in their name, and then it has several questions about the book, a couple of little writing responses they have to do, and then they hit submit, and their reading log is done for the day. What I've done here is I've logged into Google, and I've gone to my Google Slides and found the response sheet for the hall passes, and you can see that it records where the person goes. It time stamps it over here, and it also tells you who it is that left.
Thank you, Ms. Du Bois, and I really think it's a great, innovative way to keep up with where students are, and thanks, Coach Godomsky, for sharing that with us and allowing me to videotape you. The other thing is, I think learning walks are over at this point. I have one makeup that I know that I have to do on Wednesday, but that should be the last learning walk. So I hope you enjoy and got a lot out of our Flip faculty meeting, and that you watch this whenever you can. So this will also open up your Thursday afternoon if you would like to go to Miss Bullock's Sprinkle. But I hope you enjoy and have a great day.